Woo! Rafael Varane wants a new challenge, but I can't help but think he wants a new balance. Giving us the run around in his new balance. Use our name for a raise, that's a known science. And there's no denying he's a top talent, but I still think it's all talk like Jimmy Fallon. Giving us the run around like past the baton. In the end he reps the ops like Ricky Hatton. Rafael Varane wants a new challenge, but I can't help but think he wants a new balance. Giving us the run around in his new balance. Use our name for a raise, that's a known science. And there's no denying he's a top talent, but I still think it's all talk like Jimmy Fallon. Giving us the run around like past the baton. In the end he reps the ops like Ricky Hatton.
Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. We're back again with another one. It's your boy Therms, and I'm joined here today by NK as per usual. And today we are going to talk about Manchester United transfer news with a splash of the Euros and a bit and bobs of other stuff that's been going on. But yo, let's kick it off. Actually, let's not forget about the fixture list. Let's start off with the fixture list. The fixture list is the most important thing right about now. To me, it is finally landed. NK, look, I ain't gonna lie, I've seen some teams' fixture lists and I've been like, whoa, this is crazy. Like Chelsea, you know, in their opening sort of 6 games, I've got, you know, the likes of City, you know, who else have they got? Arsenal, Tottenham, etc. And I'm kind of, in a way, I'm like, you know, that's kind of rough, you know, but we're all got to face it at some point, you know what I mean? And it's like, if sometimes I feel like it's almost like an advantage, like if you've got a tough fixture list, obviously I'm not talking about Chelsea, but I just want to get this point across. If you've got a tough fixture list, your players already amped up, sort of in emotions, and there's no time for slacking, you know, hopefully they'll just run through it. We've seen how it never pans out, how it is always sort of put out there, or you know, they've got a tough fixture list that Man United had last season when we had that deadly month, but we still got through it kind of unscathed, relatively unscathed. And I feel like Chelsea would as well, because Chelsea is a tough squad. I think everyone else should be worried about Chelsea. But moving away from Chelsea though, because I don't want to talk about them, Manchester United's list. Manchester United, obviously in our opening fixtures, let me bring it out because I done some digging. I know Wolves as part of our opening 3. I think Leeds may have been our first game.
Yeah.
And then Wolves our 3rd game, and then I think we've got one in the middle, if I'm correct. Who else? Let me see it. So we've got Leeds. So we've got Leeds at home, then we've got Southampton away, then we've got Wolves away in August. So what's your thoughts on that, man? Do you think like Manchester United is going to get the 9 points that we need, get off to a good start, or do you feel like there's a banana skin in that fixture list?
You know what, we have to get that 9, but I just don't know. It would depend on what our manager have learned from last season. Because one thing about last season is we were not losing a lot of games, but we were drawing a lot of games. So my problem right now is and then you know what, Southampton game, it looked like last season we were almost kind of like going to like draw that game, and then Cavani got a late winner when we played them away too. Saving too with I think Wolves away. We always had it tough, but it was like the last game of the season. Their manager was kind of like leaving, so it was like a dead rubber. Let's just put it that way. The kids went there to like win it. Those 2 games I'm just kind of like worried about. At least first game, we've been starting really poor under Oli in terms of like our first match. I'm not sure if we lost last year against like Crystal Palace at home. We lost our first game too, but we didn't have a good preseason. But all in all, the first 3 games we should get 9 points.
Yeah.
We should get 9 points. But knowing Oli, I'll probably like take like 5 out of it. But after those 3 games, bro, it is bad. It is bad. The pictures are bad after that. I worry for us. I really worry for us.
It's crazy. So after that, we've got, so that was in the month of August. We had Leeds, Southampton and Wolves. And then in September, we've got Newcastle, West Ham and Villa. So it's not too bad. I think it gets bad. Time. Yeah, October, we've got Everton at home, Leicester away, Liverpool home, Tottenham away. November, we got City at home. Hey, Watford, then Chelsea, then it's a mess. Look, do you know what? Let's not think about October and November because it's gonna be stressful. But what we do need to do is get off to a good start, and I feel like, you know, what I'm happy about is that Manchester United is not coming up against the Wolves. You know, any team with a new manager, any team that's probably newly promoted, is going to be is always a little bit of a banana skin here and there. There's always a risk of that. Hopefully, you know, the novelty of by the time we come up against the likes of Wolves and stuff like that, then the novelty of the new manager will wear off and stuff, and we'll be able to get that victory, and we're able to see as well. Obviously, Leeds game's not going to tell us anything, because we would expect to beat Leeds unless they have the performance that they did in the second leg in the Premier League against us, where they sort of defended really well. But I feel that the games against Southampton will probably tell us even more Wolves, because, you know, they're a defending team, low block team. And, you know, if we have got the, you know, signings across the line, it will just tell, you know, if what we've added to the squad, or, you know, whether it's like training or anything that we've done internally, would have made a difference to how we address these teams. Because if we can't address these teams and we're saying the same old story like we did last season, it's going to be a long season, basically. And yeah, we had a lot of draws and we finished second, but I don't think we're going to get the same grace this season. I feel like Chelsea's fully going to be in a mix of the title race, to be honest, especially if they get a striker. City's obviously looking to strengthen, as you know.
Right.
And then Liverpool trying to, you know, come back. I'm not 100% sure on Liverpool. It depends on what they do in the transfer market as well. But obviously, they're not going to want to have the same performance that they did this season. So they have every incentive to try and go out and, you know, better that performance. So, do you know what I mean? It's going to be a tough one.
It is a tough one. Also, as you said, I feel like, you know what, the Leeds game, I feel like it's just going to be like opening game. And so I expect like 3 points, it don't matter what the performance. The Southampton game is going to teach us a lot, because one thing Southampton are very good at is they go down set pieces. So if we go there and we manage to kind of like defend well and then get a 3 point, I don't want to draw, because we're going for the Premiership, and I don't want to draw. If we go there, don't concede from like set pieces, like play well. You know, your first 3 games is what make you either title favorite or not. So if we can go in there, get like the 9 points out of that, then, you know what, I feel like we can kind of like build momentum from that. But it's an exciting time. We'll see. Bro,
do you know what? I feel like we need more than I feel like we need to actually, because, you know, those fixtures I mentioned. So we got Leeds, Southampton, Wolves, and then we got Newcastle, West Ham, and Villa in September. Before we reach October, I feel like we even need to. It's a clean house. I know obviously things don't work like that, but Manchester United are serious. I feel like we need to get like the full 18 points. I feel like we really do need to take out Newcastle, West Ham, and Villa, because when we're up against Everton, Leicester, Liverpool, Tottenham, City, Watford, and Chelsea and Arsenal, there's no respite. And I mentioned Arsenal, and you know, we're playing them on the 30th of November. Obviously, Arsenal's not a big club. Traditionally, they've not been, you know, performing and getting into Champions League football recently. But obviously, we know Arteta is still going to be in a job, and he has that thing over Oli. So it's also going to be a challenging game. It's going to be another game for a test for Oli to see if he can, you know, get that W against Arteta and finally put that stat to bed. Right. So it's going to be interesting.
Also, in October too, we're going to be doing all these big fixtures too with Champions League too. And knowing our problems last season in the Champions League getting knocked out, it will be interesting to see how we balance that. And I always say the teams that normally win the Premiership, they always have a good run between October all the way to January. That's when you win the Premiership. Those run in between October and January wins you that. Because after January, you just kind of like take your foot off the gas, and then you just kind of like start scraping for like your 1-0 draws after that. City done that. City literally won the league from October to January, because they had a bad season too. They had a bad start, but they kick on and then boom, went from there. So it will be key.
Yeah, the season does start to take shape. I mean, the table does start to take shape in, you know, January times. You know, that's always been the thing. History shows if you're sitting at top, you know, come January times, then there's a good chance that you can go on to, you know, lift the trophy. So hopefully we can be there, man. We can be there. But to be honest, I'm a bit worried, and you know what's been happening in the transfer news. So I'll get onto that now, actually. So, you know, I've been hearing some things about, you know, one Trippier, because he's one of our main targets. For the transfer window, you know, Manchester Evening News has been reporting that, you know, Oli has a vested interest in Kieran Trippier. He really likes him, but he's not willing to pay sort of the transfer fee that Atletico Madrid wants to pay, and that wants us to pay, and that fee is 40 million euros, which equates to about 35 million pounds. And for me, I feel like Manchester United has to agree a way forward with Kieran Trippier and get him, because I feel like he can really transform the right side. I mean, it's not a priority. I feel like Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been contributing more attacking wise for Manchester United's play this season. But I do feel like Kieran Trippier would add that extra bit of bite that we need on the right side. And if he can link in with guys like Greenwood, if he can link in with guys like Sancho, if we do eventually get him on, it will be a very good sort of, think of it like this. You've got Kieran Trippier and Sancho, that English connection. Sancho's going to be in the England squad once he comes and starts playing for Manchester United and wearing that number 7 shirt and doing bits. It will happen. Man United players will get in there somehow, some way. He'll get in there. And I can see that relationship between Trippier and Sancho going forward. And it will be really healthy. And you can see the same type of thing that's happening on the left with Shaw and Rashford for Manchester United. And you can hope, I don't know why Shaw hasn't been brought into the England squad or, playing games, should I say. It's weird to me because I thought he had a really good sort of campaign. And it's even more weird that they're playing Kieran Trippier on the left over people like Luke Shaw and Chilwell. So it is weird, but I can see that relationship forming if we do get Kieran Trippier with your likes of your Sanchos or even Mason Greenwood.
Yeah. With the Trippier deal, like they got a release clause of 40 million euros. He's in his last year of contract, so he shouldn't be costing that much. And as I said to you, the thing that annoys me about United is that all our transfer deals are always made public, like step by step. Every club kind of like go through that. You go with an opening bid, it get rejected, and then you go with a second one and maybe a third one. That's when you find a common ground. Realistically, he got 1 year left. I feel like he should be going for maybe around 15 million pounds. 20 million is even too much too, considering his age and stuff like that. 15 million, 20, it should be a deal. But the thing is, we make ourselves too public about all our deal. Everybody know it, and it becomes very, very, very frustrating too. A lot of clubs are right now trying to get players. Today I heard about Arsenal trying to go for Ben White, which got rejected for 40 million and stuff like that too. But most of these deals, they kind of but mine that I feel like we need to learn how to keep this kind of transfer dealings a bit kind of quiet. Yes, if we have a bid rejected, it shouldn't be made public. Keep on going until you get that, right though. But I would be amazed if Kevin Trippier is not a Man United player by the end of July. I would be surprised, because I heard his family has moved into Manchester. Literally, his family has moved into Manchester.
Phone number.
Change his phone number too. He's a guy that's not going back. So it's just up to Man United to get a deal too. I won't even be surprised if City try to hijack that deal too. But then again, they got 2 great right backs too. But you just never know who's selling who and who's getting who too. So
yeah,
I have to keep an eye on that.
I think maybe 25 million might be the sweet spot around that figure to prize him away. And I would pay personally 25 million for Kieran Trippier. Yes, he's fair.
For a 30-year-old though, that is going to be your backup guy.
If you look at what's out there, Man United hasn't got cover for Aaron Wan-Bissaka for one. If he gets injured, our season's basically over. We haven't got any cover. Yeah, we've got guys that are in the squad, but we haven't really got any cover. Then you look at the availability out there, who we've been linked with, Max Aarons, who's equally going to cost 30 million. Is he ready? Is he going to provide the same level of quality that Kieran Trippier would? No. I feel like if Man United is going to spend 25 million, and then that guy can last us maybe 2 to 3 seasons, then potentially that's good money well spent, because Kieran Trippier is not going to come to play second fiddle. Manchester United obviously see Aaron Wan-Bissaka as being the first team guy, but Kieran Trippier is going to have something to say about it. He's going to be someone that is bombing down that wing, putting pressure on Wan-Bissaka. Even if he gets a better performance out of Aaron Wan-Bissaka and he doesn't even start, just like Telles is doing with Shaw, then obviously people may say that is equally money well spent. But for me, I feel like we need to get it done. If it's 25 million, just get it done. Get it done. Yeah. You've got Delo you can sell. Do you know what I mean? Use that money, top it up a little bit. Get
right. I feel the Delo transfer money should be able to match whatever money we get for Trippier too. And you know what? All these things that we talk about, who's going to be number 1, who's going to be number 2. I don't think that should even be a problem too. Like if you watch even City, for example, I don't know who City first choice right back is, you know.
Proper squad, isn't it? They utilize
it's a
everyone.
proper squad because everybody come in and everybody kind of because the thing about the left back and right back is that it requires a lot of like energy and intensity too. So it's good to normally like rotating like week in and kind of like week out, you know, get them fresh so that when they come in, they can be bumping up and down, you know. So I feel like it's just very good. Just bring them in, and you don't like for like one season or so, there won't be like no fresh choice or no right back. Just do it according to the team and what fullback will suit that kind of like team.
Yeah, facts. I believe that as well. So, I mean, I agree. I feel like we should be having players where each of them could start and be a first teamer, not like going and getting this sort of filling up the gaps and getting this sort of players that you know is never going to start. And I feel like Kieran Trippier, I truly believe he's a guy that can really push Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and at times you'll be saying Kieran Trippier needs to be starting over Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, if we're up against those tough sort of attackers, those dribblers and stuff, Aaron Wan-Bissaka's your guy. But if you're up against teams with the low block and stuff like that, that Wolves, for example, you've got people like Kieran Trippier whipping in the ball for guys like Cavani to get in the other end.
Right,
of the header,
and yeah, that's what's coming here too.
And
Because
you've got
Trippier too, he's good defensively too. Because
and
as you said too, he got benched for Luke Shaw and and Chilwell too to play left back too, and that shows you how much the manager trusts him to just defend it too. So you know we might be buying him for the right back spot. By the time you know, he should Luke Shaw for the left back spot.
I wouldn't put it past us, you know. I wouldn't put it past us. You know what? Yeah, it's a fair point. Do you know what I mean? He can attack, he can defend, and I feel like it will add immensely to our team. So we need to get that done. But moving on, so obviously the outstanding Sancho drop saga's been going on for quite some time. You know, I'm reading today, you know, that Manchester United agreed. It's probably just variations of the news that's already out there, but I'll just say it anyway. So Man United obviously agreed a 5-year contract with Sancho up until 2026. I hope there's a 1-year extension clause in there that Man United love to do, because that would be great. On about 13 million a year, I'm hearing. So that's probably around 250k per week. Obviously, we made an initial bid, roughly around 70 million. That got rejected by Dortmund. Rumor is that we're about 10 million, pounds apart or whatever it is. And then obviously news coming out today from Fabrizio saying, it's going to happen and it's a matter of weeks rather than it being dragged out to the end of the transfer window. Now that gives me reassurance, because listening to someone like him, he's usually spot on. Like very, very rarely is he not getting his facts straight. So when he comes out and says this stuff, it's almost like a guy standing by his word. Like certain guys really take this game seriously and don't want to put stuff out there where they know it's not been backed up, not been justified, not been cross-checked. And he's one of those guys that are like that. So it's giving me a bit of reassurance that, we are going to get this deal done over the next few weeks, within the month. And I'm happy about that, man. I'm happy that it'll be coming into the squad. Do you think Manchester United, though, are going to get this deal done? And do you think it's going to be done within the month?
That trip, as I said to you, I'm not excited by that trip no more. This is a transfer. This is a transfer that should have been done last summer. Should have been done last summer. And now we're looking at like doing that deal this summer. And we kind of like, I feel like the money for Sancho was part of our last summer budget, and we're literally going to use it for this summer too. Sancho should not even be part of our this summer transfer budget, because that was last summer money, not this summer money too. But anyway, first they said, the deal was going to be done before the Euros. It never got done before the Euros. And then it was, it might be done before England first game. It never got done before England first game. And now we hear it like, it's a matter of weeks. Look, I'm just telling you straight. This deal ain't going to be confirmed until after the Euros. I don't know. The whole deal is just long. But the only thing that I've been encouraged by this whole deal is that we are just not working on just that deal alone. In the past, we've been like, we work on one deal, and after that, we move on to the next deal. But what I've been hearing is that we've had a bid for Sancho rejected, and we've also have a bid for Trippier 2 rejected too. So that tells me that we are working on like different deals at the same time too. And then obviously they got a goalkeeper too that has also kind of like had a medical too. So that's kind of like 3 deals like in the pipeline too. So it shows that we are doing Yeah, well, as you ever gonna say too, like they would do a whole big video about Tom Heaton returning home, just like Pogba returning home too. So it's Man United too. So it is just that. So that's what I said to you. I'm just encouraged that we are doing both of the things. I just want to make sure that these players that we are going to sign are going to be ready for preseason. You know, if they are not playing in the Euros, then sign them so that whatever preseason we're going to have, they will come into the thing. Give the manager enough opportunity to work with these new signings and get a tactics in place for the upcoming season. Don't wait and then, like, you've seen our fixtures already. Like, don't be waiting and be getting guys like a week before they're gonna come, and then you know about coronavirus, they have to quarantine. Or just don't do that. Just literally just get the deals done. Me, I have set them a deadline of probably just do it by the 20th of July, which is when the Euros finish anyway. And that's almost, or even the 14th. Give them a month between the time that you sign them to when the Premiership start, for the manager to say, okay, I got this place now. This is how I'm gonna play, and this is how I'm gonna do. So if we can do the Sancho deal by the 14th of July, which I feel like it's gonna be like that anyways, I'll be happy with it.
Yeah, I was reading that Dortmund go off to their training camp for pre-season. I think around the 23rd, the end of July. So Manchester United, that's the deadline that's been set. I think it's the 23rd of July. So Manchester United, regardless, need to get that deal done, or he's staying. And that was the same thing that they said last season when they set out their deadline and we didn't meet it. He stayed. So I feel like regardless, the deal is if it is gonna get done, which I believe it is, it's gonna get done before the 23rd of July. So that's the date that I'm sort of sticking with. And you know what, Manchester United could get it done and then maybe later announce it after the Euros and do that big spectacle that they like to do, because they love the attention, the clicks, and generating money like that. And I feel like, back to your point about Manchester United and why is their business all public and open, I feel probably that it's meant to be that way. I feel like it's purposely like that. I feel like, the Glazers or whoever's in charge are purposely got a strategy to leak that news, because again, it generates the interest, generates the buzz, generates the clicks, generates money. And especially where we've had all of this negative press surrounding the Glazers and the club about ESL and all of these things, 50+1. When you're hearing things like that, Sancho and even Ronaldo, I won't be surprised if he gets thrown in a mix at some point to generate a frenzy again, because Manchester United fans love him across the world and he's still got a lot in him. I won't be surprised if he's thrown in a mix. I could see it being like, a lot of our first option transfers don't come through. Then we end up turning to someone like Ronaldo, just like we did with Cavani, to try and salvage what a failure of a window it was. So I won't be surprised, if we start to see some of those things. But, moving on and just finally, I wanted to talk about the Euros, but I'll probably leave that for another episode, actually. I'll just keep it strictly on just like the transfer stuff and what we got. So the last bit was Lingard. So I know Lingard, there's been talks in the Manchester Evening News, I think, again, about him having discussions. I think it's the Manchester Evening News. Anyway, scheduled to have discussions with Oli and staff after the Euros to discuss his future and stuff like that. So there's been also reports saying that, Manchester United is going to offer him a new contract. Now that would be crazy for me if he does do that, because the interest in Lingard is high at the minute, and I don't feel like you're going to get another opportunity again to sell him. He may not necessarily have that level of performance next season again. So if you're going to do your business, I'll do it now personally. I'm also reading as well that Lingard, there's no possibility of a swap deal. It's unlikely that there'll be a swap deal or player exchange, should I say, and money on top for Declan Rice. Because Declan Rice is obviously valued at 90 million and sort of other factors. I think he wants to stay maybe one more year if he can't go Chelsea. So what's your views on Lingard potentially signing a new contract for Manchester United, and also your views on a potential player swap deal with West Ham for Declan?
You know what? I will be amazed if Lingard, sign a new contract too. Because first, in order for him to sign a new contract, he will have a talk with Oli, and Oli will have to promise him, like, oh yeah, you know what? If you come and you show the form like you showed at West Ham and stuff like that, there's no reason why you should not be playing or getting game time for Man United. And you know what? That's one. Oli is a talker. Oli talk a lot about politics. If Oli actually talk about strengthening this team, and for the wise thing about him, if you really care about, strengthen this team and that kind of talk, he needs to do that work. And part of that work is making sure that Jesse Lingard is being sold. You know, Lingard was at United, and I don't care what he was going through mentally or whatever it was. Manchester was not a good place for him at the time. And you know, when he went to West Ham, the amount of goals that he played differently, that they were more like they were kind of like playing him more as like a force, like number 9 or so. Like he had the freedom to do whatever it is that he wanted to do. He's not going to get that at United. He would just not get that there. I don't see him scoring more goals that he scored for West Ham in that little like 3-4 months period that he had wherever. I don't see him scoring that kind of like goals in a full season for United because he will not get the game time. He will not get it. Just move him on, get the money, and try to kind of like sort that centre back area or whatever it is that we need. We got too much attacking players. A lot of them can play a lot of the things. Lingard, for example, as a number 10. Ahmed can play as a number 10. You know, we got that youth guy too, the Tunisian guy too. He can play as a number 10 too. Pogba can play. Pogba can play as a number 10. Greenwood can play as a number 10. Bruno play as a number 10. You know? And Sancho. We do not need him. We don't need it. We don't need Lingard. I don't see Lingard like in this team. I really don't see a future for Lingard in this team.
Yeah, I agree, man. I feel like we need to capitalize this season. You know, if he does sign, then it will be another failure, another disappointment. You know, we're giving Mata 1-year extensions, you know, now to go and give Lingard. I mean, you know, all of this business that we was doing previously is just a repetition. And for me, the restructure of what we had internally with Murtough and you know, Fletcher and all of these guys that are being imposed or promoted and stuff to manage some of these deals is not showing any change if you start to continue this sort of pattern. So, you know, the verdict is still out, even if there's anything that's changed. You know, are we going to get deals over the line? Are we going to do it quicker? Obviously, the Euros is kind of, you know, making that bit of it's not clear at the minute because the Euros is going on. But we'll see how we operate this season. You know, we'll see in the summer window, and we'll see if there's any differences made. You know, hopefully we can get the deals over the line. You know, I've got my eyes on people like Zakaria in the Euros. You've been knowing. You know, Kelvin Phillips is a guy that's caught the interest of a lot of people now. For me, the verdict is still out there. You know, I'm still watching guys like Ruben Neves and all of these guys DMs right now. Centre backs as well, Pau Torres and.
Why are you talking about centre back too? The Varane situation too. The Varane situation too, because that baffled me. You know, obviously, like last time, I mean, we were talking about it, and apparently they said that there's a report that he agreed to go to PSG. I don't believe so. I really don't believe so.
I think he did.
And you know what? Because the reason why I'm just saying that too is, you know what? There are two big players that I feel like is going to say a lot about PSG thing. Because from what I'm hearing, Ronaldo favor a move to PSG. You know, I don't see how PSG can do both the Ronaldo deal and Varane deal. I don't see how. And if Varane is choosing to go to PSG, it's only because maybe PSG are willing to offer him more wages than we are. I just don't buy into this thing that he favored there because of family. I don't buy into that. And after watching him last night play for France, you know what? If you want to make players like the highest paid player like in your team,
it's got to be him.
It got to be him.
Yeah,
because you know what? That guy is a proper leader. And I watched one of Pogba interview. And they're talking about, in terms of like the dressing room, how are you like a dressing room? And he said, you know what? When it comes to like a player talking to the team, I'm not the kind of guy that do that. That's like a job for like Varane. He normally like do that. He normally do that like the team.
You saw him. He was commanding. He was literally bossing.
And he said he does that. I do like the individual talking. He does the team one too. And yesterday, after seeing him, because my problem has always been like his injury kind of a record. But after seeing him yesterday, he's quick. He was commanding. And we talk about someone to make Maguire look good. Now that is your guy.
He's the exact person we need. But is it going to happen? Because for me, I can see him going back. PSG, for some reason, is looking very attractive now. Do you know what I mean? They keep getting to latter stages of Champions League. Players are thinking, I can be the icing on the cake.
Already won. He's already, that's the thing. He's already won the Champions League.
Think about it like this.
He's already won the Champions League. He's playing the French league.
But think about it like
this. We got more bargain power.
he doesn't. I don't think he cares about the Premier League that much. I
really do. He thinks it is the Premier League.
I just feel like he wants to be kicking it with his friends, getting big money, and playing at the highest level in Champions League. And he's got all of his mates around him. Pogba can see going there.
That's the thing. You say that too.
Man
United play in the Champions League. You know, Man United play in the Champions League too. And right now too,
we qualify for it, but we're not playing for it. We qualify for it, but we're not playing for it.
But whether we are playing for it or not, that's why we need him to play for it. You know, we are in the Champions League. We got players like Pogba in our team. We got Cavani in our team too. We got Rashford too. There is no way there that you can tell me that, what do you call it, PSG, as I said to you. Like yesterday, for example, watching Mbappe, for example, he was quality. But I asked myself, why don't I watch Mbappe week in and week out? And Varane is too ambitious to just say, hey, I want to go there and play my weight and just kick it on. He is just too ambitious for that. And I feel like if we go to PSG, it comes down to the wages. And then, you know what, we talk about not letting players bully us for wages. He's a guy, you let him bully you for the wages, because that guy is quality. And you know what, if they give him 350, mate, he deserves 350. He deserves 350.
We're just going to have to see. I hope I'm wrong. But for me, I don't see him coming to Man. I don't see a player where PSG say, I want you, and then he comes to Manchester United, let alone someone like Varane. I've got high ambition. I want the best players, and I continue doing that. In my WhatsApp groups, I'm always saying, you know, I want people like Varane, all of those people where people are like, are you crazy? But if we don't try and go for these guys, you know, we'll be ending up having these low expectations going for guys like Ben White, like Arsenal is. I don't want to be looking at Ben White thinking, oh, you know what I mean, you're great. I want to be looking at guys like Varane. And then maybe if you don't get guys like Varane, you might end up getting someone like Koundé or someone like that, or even a Pau Torres. And my verdict's still out on Pau Torres, to be fair, because I just can't see the major difference that he's going to bring. I can't see that big level. I feel like like I said this before, with certain other players, Declan Rice, I feel like we're forcing ourselves to like and be gassed about Pau Torres.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe the Spanish fans or the people that watch him more may know more about him, and maybe they may feel justified. But for me, I feel like it's forced. And when you look at guys like Varane, you just feel it. You know that he's a top. You know anyway. You know his CV. You know what he's about. But when you look at guys like Declan,
go to PSG. Because look, PSG got two great centre backs. You know. I mean, one of them was his teammate there. One of them was his teammate yesterday that he played with.
It don't matter.
And then they got Marquinhos too, who is their club captain too.
Varane and Marquinhos. Perfect.
Then you go and say, well, so what happened to
Kimpembe or whatever? He's benched. Like literally, you don't have a discussion when you see guys like Varane. Like it's not a discussion. There's no such thing as what do you do with Kimpembe? Like Marquinhos, fair enough. He's a guy. He's solid, but there's not a discussion when it comes to Varane. Varane is like, insert discussion. And Kimpembe as well will be someone that, you know.
I don't know, because the thing is, I worry about PSG. Like, obviously, I know obviously this deals and stuff like that. Their wages, I worry about their wage structure too, because they offer Neymar some ridiculous amount of contract. They're trying to get Mbappe tied onto some ridiculous amount of contract.
PSG's got money, bro. PSG's never had an issue.
Yeah, but you can have all the money too,
play,
but financial fair play too. And that's what it comes down to. They need to strengthen like their middle too. And there's talk about them trying to get like Pogba too and everything like that. I don't see how they got all the money to just do that. Are they just buying for the sake of buying too? Because now they go there, a new goalkeeper too. When they got another quality goalkeeper too, and they're going to give him like a big wages too. I don't know.
This is the same thing. You know what I mean? Because you could have said that about, you know, them having a quality keeper who's it never.
But he was free. He was free. So
my point is Pogba's going to be free next season. I'm not saying that he's going to go this season. And Varane, at the end of the day, right, he is only 40. Donnarumma is free, yeah, obviously. Pogba's going to be free next season. Varane's only going to be about 40-60 million euros max. So if PSG said, you know what, we're only going to buy 2 players this season, the summer window. One is Varane and one being, you know, whoever. It's not a lot of money expended. You know what I mean? It's not a lot. Like PSG is nothing. That is zero for them to be worrying about. It's light work. Varane is
I'll be shocked. The thing is, I'll be shocked for a club that don't need a centre back to beat Manchester United that are desperate in need of a centre back.
They didn't need a keeper, and they got a keeper.
Right. on the free transfer. We don't need a goalkeeper, but we are. You see how right now Tottenham are competing for them for that right back. I mean, Chelsea are competing for them.
Do you know what it
Hakimi.
is? I feel the difference between our opinions here is the fact that you feel like he really wants to come to the Premier League, where I feel that he really wants to go to P.
No, I don't feel like he really needs to come to the Premier League. I feel like he will go whoever presents him, because he's leaving Real Madrid because of the wages, because he didn't get enough wages too.
And a new challenge.
It will come down, huh?
And he said a new challenge.
Too. A new challenge, right? And as I said to you, the reason why I said a new challenge, I feel like it will come down to who give him the more money. And if both Man United and PSG are offering him the same money, a new challenge is always the Premiership, because he's already played in the French league already. So it doesn't get any better than a new challenge is the Premiership. And as I said to you, if you go to PSG, one, it will be because one, they gave him more money, or two, they would have presented him with a much better project than we were. And that would say a lot about how Man United is being run. Because if PSG can get him, as I said to you, one, they don't need a centre back. They don't desperately need that too. They already been doing, the squad that they got has been taking them to the semi-finals. Yeah, they didn't win the league.
But I would just say he adds the extra bit to get them to lift the Champions League. There's a difference. I'm just saying,
we are in direct competition with them. Like, see how Chelsea, just watch how Chelsea is competing with PSG for this.
So I actually heard Hakimi wants to play. He's got a vested interest in the Premier League. See, this is the difference. I heard Hakimi's got a vested interest in the Premier League. I heard that if they're both offering the same amount, which they have, Hakimi's going to choose Chelsea. So I'm almost expecting, should Inter Milan say that money's all right, obviously they rejected 56 million, but should they up the bid and Inter Milan accept it and they both offered the same amount, PSG and Chelsea, I can see him going Chelsea because he has a vested interest. I haven't heard that about Varane.
Look, what do you call it? The perfect example was that Liverpool player, Wanyama. Everybody expected him to go to where? To Barcelona. Koeman was there and everything just like that. So, but then by the time
with Wijnaldum or whatever, Genie Wijnaldum. Yeah. But do you know what it is? He never had a vested interest in Barcelona. For him, it was about, let me get my final payday, my sort of get the money in. It's not like this is the difference. You're talking about, but he never had a vested interest. Varane doesn't have to me, I haven't heard that he has a vested interest. He's going to go, say he goes where the wind blows, right? It's going to be PSG. If there's anyone that's going to compete with you in terms of wages, PSG would do that in a heartbeat. Like Manchester United, it's not like to say we can flex our muscle against a team like PSG, because PSG, they've got the highest transfer fee record ever. And their wages, I don't know what their wages are looking like, but I'm not, you know, I mean, actually, to be fair, Neymar wages and Mbappe wages are silly anyway. They blow our wages out of the water. So for me, and another thing, even if he did want to come to the Premier League, Varane, right? Don't you think that Chelsea will be like, wait a minute, hold on, let me try a thing. Like he's actually interested in Manchester United.
And no, and this is what I'm just trying to just tell you, you know what, if it was that, you know what, he was going to cost like a big transfer fee, then I just say, okay, then, you know what, maybe United are not in for a shot because we cannot compete with PSG when it comes to, what do you call it, transfer fee. But when it comes to wages, we are notoriously known for splashing wages for players for no reason, you know, and I don't see why we cannot compete with PSG for the wages. If he say, look, I'm going to leave Real Madrid and I'm going to go to where the next project is going to do good, I don't see why we cannot convince him to come to the Premiership and give him the money that he will PSG should not have paid us for wages, not for a player of this kind of a caliber. He's not a young player. He is a certified leader. And we have been talking about, everybody talk about centre back is more of a priority than wing backs. And if you are going to miss out on your number one target to a team that don't need a centre back, then it shows you what our priorities are.
Mate, it'll be. I mean, I agree. I feel like Manchester United should be going fully in. I feel like we should be going fully in. But you know, it's these things, man. So look, I'm just gonna quickly run through like just a couple of the top weekly wages for PSG. So currently, Neymar's on 859, roughly, give or take. You might see different reports. He's on 859k per week. Do you understand? So when we're talking about wages and we're talking about financial fair play of any other stuff, just bear that in mind. Kylian Mbappe is on 403k. If he renews that contract, just think about what that's going to be. Just keep that in your mind. Marquinhos is on 250. Verratti is on 250. Di Maria is on 235. Like, this is a team that's not scared to offer players that they believe in big wages. And for me, Varane is going to slot right in there under Mbappe, under Neymar, as being the transfer that wages that we can't even match. I'm telling you, Manchester United would not go above. I mean, it's going to be around the 400 mark because David De Gea is on 375 roughly, or whatever it is. It will be around that. PSG would be able to break that. Now, I'll give you a final one on Manchester United's, right? Manchester United's sort of salaries, and give or take, you know what I mean? People may say, you know, it's off or a little bit, but roughly around this. So Manchester United's highest is David De Gea, 350, 375 or whatever. Odion Ighalo, I think he's gone back, I'm not sure. He was on 300. Paul Pogba, 290. And then it's a massive drop off. You got Harry Maguire, 190. So the highest guys were Odion Ighalo, and he was for free, and he got 300, and we was very desperate. David De Gea is on 350, and
but the Chinese club were paying for that kind of like wages anyway, so we kind of like just took over for them.
Yeah, you know, and then you got Paul Pogba. For me, Varane will come in, and he's gonna demand serious wages. It'll be close to David De Gea. Manchester United, it'll be challenging to see if Manchester United will go over David De Gea's salary if he did decide to come, and if he did, it will probably be in a 400 region mark. I've told you some salaries from PSG. They're not scared to offer crazy money. They'll blow out the window. I'll blow us out the park. But the only thing that can save us is if Varane says, yeah, I want to come. Just like Sancho. Sancho's like, you know what? Bruno said, I want Manchester United. That's all I want. That's the move I want. Sancho saying, I want Manchester United. Liverpool don't at me. Chelsea don't at me. Any other teams don't at me. Don't DM me. Man United's my team. I feel like we stand a better chance like that. But when you've got a guy that's saying, you know.
All I'm just saying is that this report that just going like, he has decided that he's going to PSG, I don't buy into it. I really don't buy into it. And as I said, if there is a fighting chance in this round 12, let's go for the haymaker. Let's go for the haymaker.
Look, I'm about that.
After I saw him yesterday, and you know what, Oli is going to be watching that game too. And after that performance, if Oli don't go tell them that, look, I want this guy, and I don't care how you do it.
600k away. Give him.
He's not going to get 600k from Man United. But at least, like, if you're going to give him like 350 a week, which is more than what he get at Real Madrid anyway. I don't know how much he's on Real Madrid, but he was probably going to be like 200.
I think that's
350 a week.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, I don't know, but just do something to get that guy here.
Let me see what he's on. Let me see. I think he's. Let me see what he's on now. So right now he is on roughly. Varane is on. Damn. Real Madrid's got some crazy salaries, but right now he's on 200. So maybe.
Is it 200 or pounds? Yeah. So 200. So pounds, and then you go give him like what 300. Even 350, that's almost 150 extra from that too. And you know what? I know we're gonna give him a lot of like bonuses too. Like, hey, if you help us win the Premiership, Champions League, clean sheet bonus, he's gonna command all of that. I don't know. But I just said, after seeing that kind of performance too, like, this is a kind of a player I'll be there towards his agent to say like, hey, you know, but something just told me that this whole PSG rumors is just his agent just like throwing it out there just to kind of like bargain for a bigger kind of like chip there. Because when it comes to paying for wages too, in the Premiership, we blow any team away. So I feel like that's why Chelsea were not even involved in this. Their name hasn't been there too, because the wages that way. But I don't know. I feel like we can. I don't know. This deal is just not over. I'll just say, just throw the haymaker in the 12 round, because that guy's quality.
Look, I'm feeding off your energy. Look, I've already missed like almost 10 minutes of this game.
Yeah, give Sancho wages to Varane.
Bro, a lot of people would say that, you know, I can't lie. A lot of people would say that. But you know what? You know, we've discussed that length, obviously, and I really hope, AK, that you are right. I'm feeding off your energy. I really am. And we'll just see as time goes on how it pans out. But you know what? it was a good discussion today. Hopefully, you know, we can have a bit more time to discuss a bit more later on. But obviously, the Euros is going on right about now. Switzerland versus Italy. I want to watch Zakaria. I don't know if he's starting at the minute. Let me double check if he's starting at the minute. Locatelli as well, I want to watch as well. So he's not starting at the minute, Zakaria. But I want to watch him when he gets game time. I want to, you know, see what he's all about. And Locatelli, DM guys. So I'll be watching that eagle-eyed. But until then, you know, this is the OT99 banter room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Like, comment, subscribe, and support the team. We are out.
Out.